Hello everybody and welcome to another video. So it's day 2 of the faction focuses, and as predicted it's Skaven. So get a brew, get comfortable, and let's jump in and see what the rats are going to be doing in 4th edition. That's right, Skaven, as expected. Well, because, you know, they are in the box. So obviously, Skaven are literally a classic faction for a fantasy, especially for Warhammer, and are now a Chaos faction. They are one of the new Chaos factions. As of 3rd edition, they kind of got moved into there. So obviously, they're the big bad for this new edition, much like the Tyranids are for 10th edition, 40k. And yeah, there's a whole host of new miniatures coming in the new Skaventide box. I have a video up on the channel looking at that already. So yeah, looking pretty good. So let's jump straight in to their battle traits. And they do have quite a few. So Skaven armies have the following battle traits. They can deploy, in the deployment phase, they have Lurking Vermintide. So pick a friendly Skaven unit that has not been deployed. Set up that unit in the reserve in the tunnels below. So basically, a bit like how it's exactly how the Stormcast Eternals do it with the Celestial Realm. You can kind of put them off to the side of the board and say that they're going to be deployed. They've got in your movement phase, Gnarlhole Ambush. So you pick a friendly Skaven unit that is in the tunnels. To use this ability, set up that unit wholly within 6 inches of a friendly Gnarlhole and more than 9 inches from all enemy units. Pretty dope. So as you could imagine, it's pretty much just like the Celestial Signs of the Storm. So they've also got once per battle, army, start of the battle round, Splinters of the Vermin Doom. So you can use this ability if there are fewer than 3 friendly Gnarlholes on the battlefield. Set up a Gnarlhole on the battlefield more than 9 inches from all enemy units and more than 1 inch from all friendly units and more than 3 inches from all objectives. So basically, if a Gnarlhole gets killed and destroyed, you can reset it up if you lose at least 1 or 2 of them. And then you have a passive ability. So no mortal damage is inflicted on friendly Skaven infantry and cavalry units by retreat abilities, which means you're going to be able to retreat and you're not going to take any of that mortal damage like everyone else is. Very Skaven-y. So you also have another ability, once per turn army, enemy hero phase. Always 3 close steps ahead. So, which is very popular. If you've watched the battle report that's up on the Warhammer TV YouTube channel, Lumineth versus Skaven, you kind of see this being played a lot. So pick a friendly non-monster Skaven unit that is not in combat and was not set up this turn to use this ability. That unit can use the normal move abilities as if it were your movement phase. So basically, in your enemy's hero phase, you can pick up a unit and that unit can move. It's really, really quite strong, and it can really mess up people's plans for their turn. So yeah, if you haven't watched that battle report yet, you should definitely go and check it out, because it really does give you a good idea of what the Skaven are capable of doing. So obviously we have battle formations, and it gives you a couple. As the Splinters of the Vermin Dude, you've got the Lurking Vermintide and Gnarlhole Ambush, and there's always 3 steps ahead. So the battle formations, there's the Flesh Meld Menegrine and the Prize Creations. So obviously the new Rat Ogres, which we will be looking at shortly in this video, is obviously the main thing about this formation. So pick up to 3 friendly non-hero Molder units to be the targets. Roll the dice for each target and apply the corresponding effect. 1 to 2, Self-Destruct Fury, inflict D3 mortal damage on the target. 3 to 4, Rabid Infusion, add 1 to the attack characteristics of the target's melee weapons until the start of your next turn. Pretty nice. 5 to 6, Blinded by Frenzy. In addition to the effects of the Rabid Infusion, the target also has a 5-up ward until the start of your next turn. Nice. So pretty much this is going to be mostly on Rat Ogres and stuff, so it's going to be pretty scary. And I can imagine that this is also probably going to be able to be used on something like the big abomination as well. I'm expecting to see that in as part of that formation, sort of battle formation. So arcane and interactions, they've got Warp Lightning Vortex. It's a Maelstrom Law. Do it in your hero phase as a casting value of 7. Declare if there is not a friendly Warp Lightning Vortex on the battlefield. Pick a friendly Skaven wizard to cast this spell and make a casting roll of 2d6, needing a 7. Set up the first part of the Warp Lightning Vortex within 18 inches of the caster and visible to them. Then set up the second and third parts exactly 7 inches from the first part and exactly 7 inches from each other so that they form a triangle. Now, it's really nice that Games Workshop are going to give us the War Scroll for the Warp Lightning. That's pretty cool. So we're going to get that. So it has no movement. It's got a save of 6. It's got a health of 7. And it can be banished on a 7+. So it has a passive ability, multiple parts. When a number of damage points equal to this manifestation's health characteristics are allocated to it, this manifestation is destroyed and all of its parts are removed from play. So all 3 parts are destroyed once you get to 7 things. Has another passive ability called Warp Vortex. Effects subtract 2 from run rolls and charge rolls for enemy units while they are within 6 inches of this manifestation. In addition, if an enemy unit passes across this manifestation, inflict D3 mortal damage on that enemy unit after the movability has been resolved. Okay. And then in any hero phase, yours and your opponent's, declare if this manifestation was not set up this turn. Pick each enemy unit within 6 inches of this manifestation to be the target. Roll the dice for each target. On a 4+, inflict D3 mortal damage. Ouch, that's going to hurt. So it already pumped out the mortal wounds in 3rd edition, and it's pretty much going to do the same thing in 4th. It does have a 6-up ward save. So we're going to get a big units focus, and it is the Lord Screech Vermin King. So he's got a 4-up save, he moves 10, he's got 13 health, and he's got a 5 control. So he has the Glaive of the Rat King, which is pretty solid weapon. Has 7 attacks, hits on 3s, wounds on 2s, which is pretty impressive for a rat, to be fair. 2 rend and 3 damage, and it has a crit of 2 hits. So cool. So any natural rolls of 6s to hit will score 2 hits. So your hero phase, he can cast a spell on 7, the dreaded 13. Pick a visible enemy unit within 13 inches to be the target, and then roll a casting roll of 2d6. Roll 13 dice, and for each 5+, inflict 1 mortal damage on the target. You can return 1 slain model to a friendly clan right unit wholly within 13 inches of this unit. So so there's a couple of things to take down here. So it's cast on a 7. It's got a 13-inch range. You pick an enemy unit, and then you roll 13 dice. And for every 5+, you inflict 1 mortal damage on that target. And you also return 1 model, slain model, to a friendly clan rat unit wholly within 13 inches of that unit. Okay, so there's quite a lot there. So you also have a once per turn army in any combat phase. Pick an enemy infantry unit in combat with this unit to be the target. Roll a dice, and on a 3+, that target cannot use commands for the rest of the turn, and subtracts an amount equal to the roll from the target's control score until the start of your next turn. Nice. That's pretty cool. I think that's going to be quite impressive. Then there's the 13-headed one. So pick one of the following effects to apply until the start of your next turn. You cannot pick the same effect more than once per battle. So you've got quite a lot here. So you can get Masters of the Dire Sorcery, so add 1 to the casting rolls for friendly Master Clan Wizards while they were 13 inches of this unit. Commander of the Vermin, add 1 to charge rolls for friendly Verminous units while they are wholly within 13. 13 is obviously a number that Skaven love. Knower of Warp Tech, add 1 to hit rolls for the shooting attacks made by friendly Scryer units while they are wholly within 13 inches of this unit. That'll be those Jezzails that everyone is talking about. Deliverer of the Weeping Blades, add 1 to the Ren characteristics of melee weapons used by friendly Eshin units while they are wholly within 13 inches of this unit. And then the Bringer of Plagues, add 1 to the chanting rolls for friendly Pestilence Priests while they are wholly within 13 inches of this unit. And then Shaper of the Flesh, heal D3 each friendly Molder unit while they are wholly within 13 inches of this unit. So this guy is a wizard, he's a monster, he's a hero, he's unique, he's a war master, he's a 5-up ward save, and he's pretty much got all of the clans. He is the King Rat. He's going to be able to fit in nicely to a lot of the different sort of style Skaven armies, which is really nice to see. Obviously, one of the new big units for the box is the Rat Ogres, and as you can expect, they've got a new War Scroll to go alongside their new models. So they have a whopping movement of 6. They have a 5-up save, they've got 4 health each, and they've got a control of 1. They obviously have a ranged weapon, Warp Fire Guns, that has a 10-inch range, 2d6 attacks, hits on 2s, wounds on 4s, 2 rend, 1 damage, can shoot in combat. Now, melee weapons, 5 attacks, 4s followed by 3s, with 1 rend and 2 damage. And then each model in this unit is armed with claws, blades, and fangs, and one of 3 models are armed with the Warpfire gun in addition to their other weapons. This is how they're going to kind of tone this down, and we're going to see this when we see these the Storm Fiends later, where you're only going to really get that one weapon system that you can use to fire into combat in the shooting phase. So yeah, it's kind of toning them down compared to how they have been in previous editions. So they've got Unleash Warp Fury, so inflict D3 mortal damage on this unit and then add 1 to the attack characteristics of this unit's melee weapons for the rest of the turn. So you can hurt yourself, take the chance, don't roll high, and then get +1 attack on your melee weapons, which means you're going to potentially have 6 attacks, which is pretty good. So obviously they're infantry, chaos, Skaven, and Molder. The Warp Lightning Cannons, an absolute classic of units. So it's got a 4-up save, they move 3 inches, class, 8 health and control 2, and they've got the Warp Lightning Blast, which is a 20-inch range, 2d6 attacks, hits on 4s, then see below. And then they've got in the melee, they've got claws, teeth, and knives, d6 attacks, hits on 4s, wounds on 5s, no rend, 1 damage. So passive, Warp Lightning Blast. Each attack made with this weapon in a single phase must target the same enemy unit. Each hit inflicts 1 mortal damage on the target and the attack sequence ends. So you basically roll 2d6, you roll all the dice that you've allocated. So if you roll 10, you get 10 dice and you roll 10 dice and then a 4 to hit. Every one that hits on a 4+ will do 1 mortal damage and then the attack sequence ends. That's really cool. Now, they used to be really swingy, so they used to like do damage to themselves and then just like do a crap load of mortal wounds. I remember being at a tournament last year at the Northern Ireland GT, and I had one of these hit Avalon for my Lumineth Realm Lords, and they did something like 22 mortal wounds and lifted him, and I was like, what? Yeah, they were nuts, but this seems kind of cool. So once per turn, army, your shooting phase, if this unit is within the combat range of a friendly Scryer hero, probably will be if you're going to be bringing them, add 6 to the attacks characteristics of this unit's Warp Lightning Blast for the rest of the turn. However, for each unmodified hit roll of a 1 for an attack made with this unit's Warp Lightning Blast, inflict D3 mortal damage on this unit after the shooting ability has been resolved. Now, that's the crazy swinginess that you used to get, and it's now basically you're just gonna, if you've got a hero, which you're probably gonna want to, because you know that's 2d6 plus 6 attacks, so you know potential of what, 18 attacks if you get like 12 and you spike your dice, but if you roll a 1, you're going to be inflicting D3 mortal wound to yourself, so pretty nuts. But yeah, I think they're going to be very fun to face, yeah, I know fine well a lot of Skaven players in my local meta, in my local area, will probably definitely be using these. So we got Narwhals, so they've got a 4-up save, they've got 6 health, they don't move, they don't have any control. They have passive abilities, and they've got a few other abilities here. So let's have a little look here. So passive. Volatile ground. So models can pass through this terrain feature but cannot set up on or end moves on any part of this terrain feature. Each time an enemy unit moves, end moves that pass through or across the terrain feature, roll a d3 and a 2+, inflict that amount of mortal wound damage on that unit equal to the roll. I've always kind of not tried to cross them because I don't want to, but I've always tried to get within range of them to stop them from things from coming out. So you've got your movement phase. So obviously you could pick a friendly Skaven unit that is not in combat and that is wholly within 6 inches of a terrain feature to be the target. Remove the target from the battlefield and set it up wholly within 6 inches of another Narwhal. So that's kind of like to play against them. You kind of want to get within 6 inches, and it kind of stops units from being able to pop out. And there is only 3 of them, so you can kind of screen them out. And obviously now we can destroy them, but you kind of maybe not want to destroy them straight away because he may pop it and put it up somewhere else that you're not really expecting. So once per turn army, end of your turn, pick a friendly non-hero Skaven infantry unit that has been destroyed to be the target. Set up a replacement unit with half the number of models from the target until rounded up within 6 inches of friendly Narwhal and more than 3 inches from all enemy units. Now it's going to cost you 1 CP, and you can do it once per turn for your army, and you can bring back a unit that has been destroyed. This seems to be a thing now. We've kind of seen this ability twice now. In 2 of the faction focus, Stormcast Eternals have got it, and so has Skaven. So it's kind of interesting. I wonder if this is going to be a trend through all of the armies. But yep, this is their faction terrain, so it's pretty interesting. And we've got some things from the studio. Now, obviously, I thought we were going to see the Storm Vermin, not Storm Vermin, the Storm Fiends. If you want to see the Storm Fiends War Scroll, you can check out the battle report that's up on YouTube on Warhammer TV. I think it's the Masterclass. It's the Skaven versus Lumineth. It's about 3.5 hours long. They actually show the Storm Fiends War Scroll there. It's pretty similar to the Rat Ogres. They've got like one model has to have certain weapons and another, so you only get one guy that's going to be able to shoot in combat. The other guys have got different weapons. One's more close combat, one's shooting outside of combat, one's shooting in combat and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely go and check that out if you want to see what those guys are all about. So in the studio, obviously they're going to be showing off some of the armies that people have been doing, and we get a little bit of the Spearhead. So I'm not really going to go too much into Spearhead other than to sort of look at the Grace here. We kind of get a rough idea of probably what he's going to be like in the main game. 6 up save, moving, 6, 5 health, 2 control, 3 attacks, force 4s, 1 d3 damage, and obviously you know, you're going to get to sort of do your little shenanigans. I don't really suspect him to fully change too much between Spearhead and the main game, but that is Skaven. All in all, I'm pretty impressed. They do look, from watching the battle report, they do look pretty scary. On the other side of that, so the Lumineth Realm Lords, oh my god, the kangaroos are nuts. But yeah, from watching the battle report now to seeing the game actually being played, 4th edition is looking pretty good. Skaven are looking really, really scary and really solid. They've got a lot of tricks and a lot of shenanigans. Which is what you expect from a Skaven. I imagine, like a lot of things, once the actual battle tomes start coming out, there's going to be additional things added. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to sort of see what the battle tomes are going to be like. So I'm wondering if the article has what we're going to be getting tomorrow, because, you know, makes sense. So we'll be getting even darker. So it looks like Gloomspite Gits are going to be tomorrow's videos. So we're going to be talking a little bit about goblins and trogs and the moon, the bad moon. So it's pretty good. So thank you very much for watching the video. If you like the video and you like my content, please like, subscribe, share, and all of that good stuff. And I will be here every day dropping videos at some point during the day about the faction focuses. So yeah, join me and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.